What's for dinner? At my house tonight, we're going to the park with a bunch of people and having a big party. They're doing pulled porks. I was assigned dessert. So I'm going to do some brown sugar glazed pumpkin donuts. So starting off with the donuts, I'm going to do 2 eggs. This is a half a cup of oil, whatever oil that you use or like in your kitchen. I got a third of a cup of buttermilk. I'm just going to start that mixing. In this, I have a teaspoon of baking soda, baking powder, and then a half teaspoon of salt. This is a teaspoon and a half of cinnamon and a teaspoon of the pumpkin pie seasoning. I just buy the one at the store, but if you want to make your own, that works great too. I've got a teaspoon of vanilla. We're just going to get everything mixing. And I've got a cup and a half of brown sugar. It's going to go in here. I'm going to go ahead and throw the pumpkin in. This is a cup of pumpkin, and you need pure pumpkin. You don't want the pumpkin pie pumpkin. That will not work in this recipe. So kind of let all that incorporate. And I always put the flour in last. This is a cup and 3/4 of flour. You want to make sure everything's mixed up. I always mix my flour as little as possible because it toughens it up. In things like cookies and donuts and bread, totally different story, but when you're making something like this, add the flour last and then just mix it as little as possible till it's done. So that's 1 cup and 3/4 of flour. And we're going to get this all mixed together and put it in the donut pan. Okay, so I've got my pan all prepped. I sprayed it just so we don't have anything stick. I'm putting my pumpkin mixture into a Ziploc bag just to ease it into the, I'd rather pipe it in than scoop it in because it just makes a big mess and it's hard to get it in there. And this is unfortunately one of those Costco's new stand-up bags. So it's going to be a little harder to get a corner on it, but not impossible. So I'm just going to cut a little spot out of it, and I'm going to go around and fill all my cups with the donut mixture. Kind of scoop make sure you get the donut hole separated. I'm going to fill it all up. Oven set at 350. I'm going to pop that in for about 10 minutes. And then it's going straight in the freezer, and I'm going to freeze them solid. So I've put them in the freezer. They're not quite where I want them to be yet. They need to be in there a little longer, but I want to go ahead and show you what the frosting part. I've got a couple tablespoons of butter here, already melted in my pan. This is 1/4 of a cup of milk, 3/4 of a cup of brown sugar. Just gonna get that stirred in. A pinch of salt. And I'm going to add, this is a half a teaspoon of vanilla. And then a cup of powdered sugar. This is just going to be a nice glaze for the top. And these taste amazing. And I honestly refuse to eat pumpkin before I tried these. So if you love pumpkin, you'll love them. If you hate pumpkin, try them. You might like them. So it'd be better if it boiled a little bit, but I'm going to go ahead and show you. Like I said, this one came out a little rough. The reason I freeze them is so they're easier to dip because they're really moist and really soft donuts. So we're just going to take the top dunk them in there. I need to whisk out my powdered sugar pieces. Just make sure it gets covered everywhere. And I'm going to put them on a sheet pan right here. I'm going to put them on here and put them back in the fridge, and it'll harden up. So everybody, let me know what you're having for dinner. Try out my pumpkin donuts. Let me know if you like them. And I will be back tomorrow with what's for dinner.